Good evening, students. Good evening, Vidhi. Anya, welcome back for another revision lectures and important questions on matter in our surroundings. We have discussed, students, the matter in our surroundings. The revision is very clear. Everything which has mass and volume is the matter around you, students. And we told you that the matter is made up of very, very tiny particles, very, very small particles. The physical nature of the matter, when we discuss, students, we told you that these are the particles, students. Matter is made up of particles. Did we tell you? Yes or no? Keep on interacting with me, students, now. It's a live session.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. We have energy. Energy is required to answer question and do revision of different chapter. Student, what we are doing, revising. This will be a good revision, and we will be solving many questions which are going to be in the exam. Students, they will help us. So we already know, students, the physical nature of the matter. When I say physical nature of the matter, students, what we said, that matter is made up of very, very, very small particles, very, very tiny particles. The particle matter is made up of very, very tiny particles. Is it right? Which we call as atoms.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The size is so small that we cannot see them. That we already know. It is very, very small. So students, uh, they are made up of very, very tiny particles. And further, what you know, what are the characteristics of these particles? What are the characteristics of these particles, students? Can you interact with me? Can you help me? What are the characteristics? Can you give me one, two, three characteristics of these particles, students? These particles have space between them. The particles have, students, space between them. And we have shown you, when you dissolve a sugar in water, what happens, student? Sugar disappears. Where it goes? There's no change in volume, but sugar disappeared in the water, students. So where it went? That means the water molecules which were there was a small space between them into which the sugar particles went. The particles of the sugar are also very small. They occupied the empty spaces which were there in the water molecules. Students, particles of the matter have space between them, students. We have done many activities to show that. You dissolved a crystal of potassium permanganate and you seen that how the color is obtained, and when you dilute the solution with water, the color keeps on diluting. We have shown those activities in the lectures given previously, students. And the particles are in continuous motion. Is it right or not? These particles are moving, student. They are in motion. These particles are moving, yes or no? That means
Yes,
these particles have kinetic energy, student. What we said, they have kinetic energy. They are moving, the particles are moving, students. Then we said there is a force of attraction between the particles. So particles have attractive forces between each other. The particles have attractive forces, student, between each other. So you have seen any piece of solid, if you want to break iron, you will need a lot of energy to break it, student. The force of attraction between these particles are quite high, and in some cases the force of attraction could be weak. As you can stretch a rubber band, release it, it comes back. So there is a force of attraction, students, which exists whenever these particles are, these force of attraction keeps the particles together. So that is responsible for binding these particles, students. Then we told you how many states of matter. We told you, students, How many states of matter were told, student? How
So
many?
three.
Three states. That is the correct answer. Three states of matter. Which are those, students?
So solid, liquid, and gas.
Very good. You answer loudly because everyone will listen. Everyone will listen to your answer, student. Solid, liquid, and gases. Revision is important, and interaction is important, student. When you interact, we are learning science, students. Science is learned by answering questions. What is science? It is nothing but answer of any question, student. Any question. Here we will attempt to answer questions. So that is what we say, we learning science. Therefore, I would say that student, you must interact. You must be able to try to answer question and give. Uh, Also, you can raise questions, students, which you don't understand. That is very important. So there are three states of the matter, students, and you know what are the differences between the three states of matter. But the particles are very closely packed in the solid and the forces of attraction are very strong. Then that the particles are less closely packed than solids, and in gases you see particles are spaced to a larger distances. The forces of attraction are negligible, and you will see that gases diffuse very rapidly, students. They are moving with very randomly towards all the directions, and you will see in the diffusion of the solid in liquids, and liquid diffusion into liquid, and the gases diffuse very fast, student. And you have seen the solids, and the solids be compressed. The solids are rigid, students, because they are the space, they're attractive, they are spaced, they are very closely packed with each other and very strong inter forces of attraction. So they are rigid, student. You cannot compress them because there is no empty space. We don't get empty space, so how will you compress them? Packing is very very close, whereas gases are highly compressible, students. Gases can be compressed. Gases occupy the volume of the container in which you will put them. Can we state, can we change one state of matter into another, students? Can we change one state of matter into another? What do you say? What is your answer, students? Is it possible to convert solid into liquid, liquid into gas, or gas into liquid and liquid into solid? Can we do it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How do you do it? How do you do it, students? By changing which properties you will change, student, when you want to convert solid to liquid, liquid to gas, students. What we do, you will change the temperature. So if the temperature is increased, thermal energy is given, solids can be converted into liquid, liquid to gas. And if you cool the gases, students, then gas can be converted into liquid and liquid into solid. Also, the pressure is important, student. If I what happens if I lower the pressure? What will happen? Then the solid goes to liquid, liquid to gas. If I apply pressure on the gases, compress the gases, what happens? Do you talk of liquefied petroleum gas, student? Highly compressed gases. So gases can be compressed because there is a large space between the particles of the gases. Solids cannot be compressed. They are rigid because there is no space between the particles of the solid. As we know, they are tightly packed, student, closely packed. So interesting. We understand all these things, students, that matter can change its state, students, from one to another. Then we also told you the melting point of the solid, students. What is a melting point? What is a melting point? That temperature at which solid and liquid are in equilibrium now at the atmospheric pressure. So, students, at the melting point, temperature stops rising if you do an activity or an experiment, which you have done. You have done when you studied the activity of ice was heated on a burner with a thermometer, student. You recorded the temperature. Why at the melting point the temperature becomes constant, students? Why the temperature becomes constant when the solid starts melting? What is your answer, students? What is the reason? All interesting questions could be asked in the paper which you are giving for Cbse, Ntse and other exam students. What was the reason that at the melting point, when the solid
Sir,
melts
this
its temperature, which what is
sir,
the answer?
sir, this is because the heat energy which was initially being used to increase the temperature is now being used to change the state of the substance.
What is that heat known as?
Latent heat.
Excellent answer given by Vidhi. You are so intelligent. I'm glad that you knew it. It is a latent heat of fusion, student, or when liquid is converted into vapor, then it is a latent heat of vaporization. You know the latent heat of fusion is quite high for water, and latent heat of vaporization is also higher for the water. Student, water can absorb large amount of heat for 1 degree rise in temperature. That is the reason that you have oceans, rivers, and water lakes. Otherwise, with the sun rays, the water would have evaporated if its latent heat of vaporization was small. This is a very important point, student. The latent heat. Okay, your answer is absolutely right. So, students, we are aware of these latent heats in this topic of matter and surrounding, students, and conversion of one state into another, solid to liquid, liquid to gas by the change of temperature and pressure, students. And you have studied what is evaporation, students. What is evaporation? What is evaporation? What is evaporation, students? What happens? You in the summer
Sir,
you, yes,
sir, the process of a liquid changing into vapor or gas even at its boiling point is called evaporation.
even before the boiling point is reached, right? So before the boiling point, you sprinkle, you see on your floor, student, or on the roofs, the water during summer seasons. So what happens? The water absorbs heat from the surroundings and evaporates. That causes cooling, student. Evaporation causes cooling. Is it true that evaporation causes cooling? Right? And what
Yes,
are,
sir.
okay, student, excellent answer. Evaporation causes cooling. And what are the factors on which the rate of evaporation depends, students? What are the factors on which the rate of the evaporation depends? The rate of evaporation depends on which factor, students? You are aware of this, that evaporation is what type of,
Sir,
yes,
sir, it dep
yes, yes,
sir, it depends on the temperature,
okay.
the temperature and
One more important point you have seen, that evaporation.
surface area,
Excellent,
humidity.
excellent answer. Yes, yes, yes. If I increase the surface area, what will happen? Rate of evaporation increases. That is the reason you dry your clothes, students, by spreading them out. You spread them out, increase the surface area. If the temperature increases, then what will happen? More evaporation will take place. And another factor which you see, students, during rainy seasons, there is a lot of moisture in
Humidity.
humidity. Excellent answer, Vidhi. Thank you very much for answering all those questions. And also, you see, when the wind blows, the clothes will dry up faster, right? So try to put your wet clothes in a windy where the wind is strong, they will get dried up faster. These are some of the examples of student evaporation. So students, the key takeaway of the chapter of science, matter and surrounding, is that the matter is made up of very, very tiny particles, and there is a force of attraction between the particles. There is a space between the particles, and the particles are moving, students. They are in continuous motion, and there are three states of the matter, student. In solid, the particles are arranged in ordered order, and they have closely packed, student, and it is possible to change one state of matter into another by change of temperature or change of pressure. It is important. Then you have also studied there is some process called sublimation. Student, what is sublimation? What is sublimation, students? Certain substances you say sublime. Why do the sublime, students? What it means?
So, so sublimation is the phenomenon of change of solid directly to gas or conversion of gas directly to liquid without changing into liquid state is called
Solid to gas direct or gas to solid directly. Yes, that is the correct answer given by Vidhi. So sublimation, you already know naphthalene balls, they disappear. Students, you are using in your homes, you know, for fragrance, certain things, they are giving fragrance, but slowly they disappear from the boxes which you keep, student. Therefore, I think we have revised the chapter completely, and there's a time to answer some important questions on this topic. You are always interacting, you are always doing it, because these questions are important, they will help us, students. So students, the first question is there on the screen. The first question, read it, students. A rubber band can change its shape on stretching. Will you classify it as solid or not? Justify your answer, students.
so a rubber band changes its shape under force and regains the shape when the force is removed. So it is classified as a solid.
Okay, that is the correct answer. Absolutely correct answer has been given. Absolutely correct answer given by Vidhi. This is absolutely right answer. Right answer. That when you apply force is applied, student, then the rubber band changes its shape. Force is removed, then it comes back to the shape. So it is a solid. That is a correct answer. Next question on the screen for our students. Important questions will help us learning the chapter, the topic of matter and surrounding in a better way, because we have revised it. Sponge, though compressible, is a solid. What answer we are giving for the students?
So, so a sponge has a minute hole in which air is trapped. So when we press it, the air is expelled out and we are able to compress it. On releasing pressure, it again regains its shape. So it is classified as a solid.
That is the correct answer given by Vidhi, that there is an empty spaces inside the sponge and the air is present in them. When we compress them, the air is expelled. And that is the reason sponge is compressible, is a solid. Is the correct answer. Okay, you getting another mark for that. Gases completely fill the vessel in which they are kept. Give reasons, students. So whatever container you take, put the gas, it fills completely. What answer we are giving?
Um, so in the gaseous state, particles move freely and have greater space between them. So they occupy the entire space available.
That
Therefore, gases completely fill the vessel.
that is the correct answer. Very, that there is a space, more space in the gas particles. There is less force of attraction, and they are moving. Therefore, they will be spread in the entire vessel. So that volume of gas will be equal to volume of the container in which you are putting. That is absolutely right answer from the chapter of matter and surrounding. Question number 4 on the screen. Under what condition gases can be liquefied? In which form LPG is filled in gas cylinder? How will you liquefy the gases, students?
So, by applying pressure and reducing temperature, gases can be liquefied. The liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) is filled in gas cylinders in the compressed gas form.
Okay, correct answer. Absolutely right answer. That gases, when you will increase the pressure, lower the temperature, the gases can be liquefied, and compressed gas is filled in the gas cylinder. That is called liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. Okay, you know that gases. That is a difference between three states of matter. Students, we revised in this chapter. There's a lot of space between the particles of the gas, therefore they can be compressed. But in the solid, the particles are very closely packed. They cannot be compressed. They become rigid. Gas becomes highly compressible. This property is very important because we can compress the gas and then put it in cylinders and transport it. Otherwise, it will be difficult, students. So transportation of gas in cylinder become very convenient for us. That is how the LPG is supplied in the homes, in the cylinders, and in the hospitals. There are oxygen cylinder, students, for the patients. You have seen that. And the divers also, you see scuba divers which go deep inside the sea, they are carrying gas cylinders. Student, gases can be compressed, stored in the cylinder, and take it anywhere you want. That is very good. Good answer. Liquids generally have lower density as compared to solid, but ice floats on water. Find out why. Important question, student. Ice is a solid and still it floats on the water. What answer we are giving for the students?
Um, so ice and water both are the same substance, but ice has greater volume than that of the same amount of water. So as density is inversely proportional to the volume, ice is less denser than water, and objects having density less than water float on the surface of water.
Excellent answer. Excellent answer. You are aware of the density also. We have done that chapter also, where we have shown if the density of a substance is lower than the density of the liquid, it will float on the water, on the liquid. So that also, you know, the ice volume. When ice is formed from water, ice has a cage-like structure. Students, there is a hydrogen bonding which takes place, is already there in water, but due to cage-like structure, there is a lot of empty space and that structure in ice. The volume of ice becomes more than the volume of water, and density is mass per unit volume. Mass the same, volume increases, therefore density becomes less. The density of ice is less than density of water, therefore ice floats on water. It is a very favorite question in many papers. Student, your answer is absolutely right. You are getting one full mark for that. Then next question on the screen, what is dry ice, students? What is
The
dry ice?
solid the solid CO2 is called dry ice because solid CO2 gets converted directly into gaseous state without coming into liquid state on decreasing pressure to 1 atmosphere.
Okay, correct answer. That is a sublimation. That is what is called sublimation also. So dry ice is solid carbon dioxide, student. That means is the carbon dioxide is compressed at high pressure, then it will be solid CO2, and then it sublimes when you are putting in the atmosphere at 1 atm, and that is the correct answer. You are getting one full mark for that, student. Next question, explain why temperature remain constant during interconversion states of matter. Very important question, students. Why the temperature will remain constant when solid is melting into liquid or liquid is getting converted into gas state, student? The temperature becomes constant at that conversion, interconversion, when interconversion is taking place. One answer you are giving, students, for this?
The uh, the heat supplies to a substance is getting used during changing its states to overcome the force of attraction between the particles. And the
Uh,
excess heat is absorbed by the particles in the form of
what is that heat known as, students? What is
latent
the,
heat.
okay, well, absolutely right answer given by Vidhi. There is a latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization, you know. So that heat is used up, student, in breaking the binding forces which are holding those particles together. Therefore, at that point, the temperature will remain constant. You are absolutely right answer. One full mark is given. Till now, you have answered all the questions correctly, which tells us that you understood the topic of matter and surrounding so well. Next question. Give reason to explain why it takes longer time to dry wet clothes in humid weather.
So this is because rate of evaporation depends on the humidity present in air, and
Yes,
humid air already has large amount of water vapor, so rate of evaporation is slow.
excellent, correct answer. That the we already you revised it that the rate of evaporation depends on the humidity. More humidity, less evaporation. So what will happen in that if the weather is humid during rainy seasons, there is more of moisture in the water. The rate of evaporation will become less. That is the correct answer. Okay. Next question on the screen. Why should we wear cotton clothes during the summer, students? What answer are you giving for this?
So we perspire more during summer. Cotton is a good absorber of water. It also absorbs sweat and exposes it for easy evaporation. So as a result, body feels cool and comfortable. So we should wear cotton clothes during summer.
Correct answer. So what will happen that you perspire and that perspiration is absorbed by the cotton cloths and then evaporation takes place and you will feel cooling and you will be more comfortable in the summer, students. Correct answer. Absolutely right answer given by Vidhi. Next question, you are getting full marks now till this point your score is full. Next question, why does a desert cooler cool better on a hot and dry day, students? You have seen the desert coolers being used in summer in order to get cooling. On hot, dry day, students, the cooling is more effective, better as compared to other days. What is the reason for that, students?
The humidity, that is the amount of water vapors in air, is less on a hot dry day. Lesser the humidity, more is the rate of evaporation. So the
That
rate of evaporation is more on a hot dry day. A desert cooler cools better.
that is the correct answer. Absolutely right answer. You are getting full marks till now. You get one more mark for that, students. Next question on the screen. Why do people sprinkle water on the roof after a hot sunny day? Why will you sprinkle water on a hot sunny day, students?
So after a hot sunny day, people sprinkle water on the roof because the large latent heat of vaporization of water helps to cool the surface, and water takes away the heat from the ground and gives cooling effect.
Absolutely right answer. Excellent. The water will take the heat from the roof and will, uh, therefore, there will be a cooling effect which will be produced, and the latent heat of vaporization of water is very large, students. So, water can absorb large amount of heat. That is absolutely right answer. Next question on the screen, student. Write three differences between evaporation and boiling. Now, this is important. What is evaporation and what is boiling? There's a difference between evaporation and boiling. Students, important question which is asked in so many times. Student, you know what is the difference between evaporation and boiling?
So, so boiling is a bulk phenomenon, whereas evaporation is a surface phenomenon. And the particles from the bulk of the liquid change into vapor state in boiling, and particles from the surface gain enough energy to overcome the intermolecular forces of attraction um, present in the liquid and change into the vapor state in evaporation. And boiling starts at boiling point of a substance, whereas evaporation starts below the boiling.
That is the correct answer. It will take at the boiling point. This will take place before the boiling point, student. And the molecules here are moving from the surface, students, from the surface, and they are moving from the bulk. So the molecules are evaporating from the surface and here the molecules are from the bulk. That is the correct answer given by Vidhi. You are getting one full mark for that. So boiling point is not reached. Before that, the evaporation can take place, students. So they can absorb heat from the surroundings and then evaporation takes place. Okay. Next question on the screen. Why does ice at 0 degree centigrade appear colder than water at the same temperature, students? You have 0 degree cooled water and you have 0 degree ice. So which will be colder to you, student? You can put your finger in cold water, 0 degree, and you can put ice on your palm, student, which will be more colder.
So, particles in water at 0 degrees Celsius have more energy as compared to the particles in ice at the same temperature. And this is due to the latent heat of fusion.
Correct answer. That is the correct answer, students. There is a latent heat of absorption which is involved. So the ice will, if you want to melt ice into water, that it will need latent heat. Therefore, there is more energy in the water molecules at 0 degree as compared to ice. That is the correct answer. Next question on the screen, students. Why mixture does not have fixed melting point or fixed boiling point? Give two reasons. Give two reasons, students.
So, um, so first of all, it does not have a fixed composition, and then it does not have uniform ordered arrangement of particles.
Correct answer. There is no fixed composition and no ordered arrangement of the particle, students. Therefore, this cannot have a fixed melting point or a boiling point. Absolutely right answer. Then next question is coming, students. On suffering from fever, which will lower down your body temperature more, ice or cold water?
So, on suffering from a fever, ice will lower down body temperature more because it will take latent heat of fusion from our body and fever will come down fast.
Correct answer, because we know that ice will need latent heat of fusion to melt into water. So it will take more heat from you. And therefore, if you are suffering from high fever, you can use ice packs that will absorb more heat from the body, students. That is the correct answer given by Vidhi. So till now, your all answers are correct and your score stands 15 out of 15. Next question on the screen is coming, students. How much revision of the chapter is taking place? You can see that all questions which will be asked in your paper are going to be solved here by the students, not by me. And then you are so competent and confident, students, because you understood the science of matter and surroundings extremely well. Okay, now those students who are appearing for NTSC, Olympiad and other exams, also they will see this lectures and this quiz exams which we are playing, students. Question answer sessions are very important for them because a lot of questions will be there. They can answer them easily in different competition exams. Okay, student. Next question on the screen is, what is tincture of iodine? What is
So,
tincture?
the solution of iodine in alcohol is known as tincture of iodine. Solute is iodine and solvent is alcohol.
That is the correct answer. Solute in this case is iodine is actually solid, students. And the solvent is alcohol, student. You know what it is used for, tincture of iodine? What is the use of that, student? You know what is the use of tincture of iodine? Where do you use it? You have seen it is antiseptic, and those injuries and cuts when you go to medical rooms in the school, student, they apply tincture of iodine. What they apply? Tincture of iodine. That is the correct answer given by Vidhi. You are getting one full mark for that. A gas exerts pressure on the walls of the container, student. Is it correct? And why? Why will the gas exert pressure, students?
The gas molecules collide with each other as well as with the walls of container. Therefore, gas exerts pressure.
Okay, excellent answer. The pressure of the gas is due to collision of the gas particles with the walls, student. They bang the walls and they are hitting them with a force per unit area, and that is the pressure which you are saying is force per unit area, student. These particles are bombarding the walls, they are colliding, they are striking, therefore the gas exerts a pressure. And in a container, the gas molecules are equally distributed all over, so there is an equal pressure on all the sides of the container. They are having force per unit area is same. So that is the correct answer. Okay. Next question on the screen, students. The smell of hot sizzling food reaches you several meters away, but to get the smell from cold food, you have to go close, students. What is the answer for this question, students?
The solid diffuse at a very slow rate. But if the temperature of the solid is increased, then the rate of diffusion of the solid particles into air increases. This is due to an increase in the kinetic energy of solid particles. Hence, the smell of hot sizzling food reaches us even at a distance. But to get the smell from cold food, we have to go.
That is the correct answer. As you are, the temperature increases, the kinetic energy of the particle increases. Student, you know that kinetic energy increases with increasing temperature, student. Therefore, what will happen as the temperature rises, the kinetic energy increases, and the result of that is you will be able to smell the hot food at a farther distance. Particles have more kinetic energy, they will move faster and they will reach you. That is the correct answer given by Vidhi. Next question on the screen for you. Comment upon the following: rigidity, compressibility, fluidity, filling of gas container, shape, kinetic energy, and density. What do we mean by these terms, students? What do we mean by these terms when I say, what do you mean by rigid?
The rigidity, it is the tendency of matter to resist the change of its shape.
Correct answer.
And compressibility, it is the property of matter in which its volume is decreased by applying force.
Okay.
And fluidity, it is the ability of matter to flow. And
Flow.
filling a gas container, on filling a gas takes the shape of the container.
Okay.
And shape, having definite boundaries, is what meant by shape. And kinetic energy, it is the energy possessed by the particles of matter due to its motion. And density, it is mass per unit volume.
Okay. Density is defined as mass per unit volume, student. Okay, we define that half mv square. So there is a large space between the particles like gas. They can be highly compressible. They can be compressed. All answers are correct, student. Next question on the screen. What is the physical state of water at 250 degrees Celsius A part and at 100 degrees Celsius?
So, 250 degrees Celsius is gaseous state, as boiling temperature of water is 100 degrees Celsius, and 100 degrees Celsius, since water boils at this temperature, thus it can exist in both liquid and gaseous form. At this temperature, after getting the heat equal to the latent heat of vaporization, water starts changing from liquid state to a gaseous.
Okay, at 250 it is in gas state, correct answer, and at 100 it is both liquid as well as gas state. There are both the states which are present. Student, that is the correct answer, because 100 degrees centigrade is the boiling point of water. So when it will start boiling, there is a liquid water as well as the gaseous water. They are in equilibrium, which you have already answered the question. Correct answer. Correct answer. Okay, you get one full mark for that, students. Okay. Student, next question on the screen. Answer the following question, students. Why is ice at 273 Kelvin more effective in cooling than water at the same temperature, students?
The ice at 273 K is more effective in cooling than water at the same temperature, as ice takes latent heat from the substances for melting and hence cools the substances more effectively than water at the same temperature.
Yes. Because of the latent heat, you already answered that question. Students, name two gases which are supplied in compressed form in homes and hospitals. Which gas is supplied in homes, student, in the compressed form and in hospital, students? Which are the two gases, you know it, which is coming in the gas cylinders at home, students? Your time is running out, students. You know it. Which gases are those? This is, you know it, you have already seen it. Is the answer
So,
coming? Huh?
so LPG is used, which is compressed gas, and in hospitals, compressed oxygen is used.
Yes. Oxygen gas cylinders are there, student. LPG is there, compressed oxygen. Compressed oxygen. Liquefied petroleum gas liquefied. Correct answer, you are using liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, and oxygen compressed at the hospitals for patients. We know it. What is a dry ice, students?
So solid CO2.
Solid CO2 is called dry ice, student. That is the correct answer. Next question on the screen. Carbon dioxide is a gas. Justify the given statement by two reasons.
So carbon dioxide does not have a fixed volume. It can be compressed on applying pressure. And carbon dioxide does not have a fixed shape. It can take the shape of the container in which it is filled.
That is the correct answer, student. Properties of the gases, characteristics of the gases which you have listed. That is the correct answer. Okay, next question on the screen, student. What is a pure substance? What is a pure substance, students? What is a pure substance?
The pure substances are substances that are made up of only one kind of particle and has a fixed or constant structure.
Yes, only one component is there. Examples, you know, the elements or compounds, they are pure substances. Elements or compounds, they are the examples of pure substances, students. So they are made up of only one component, only one component, only one component is there. Only one component is there. Okay, correct answer given by Vidhi. Next question on the screen, student. What happens when you pour some acetone on your palm? What happens when you pour acetone on?
So when we put some acetone on our palm, it evaporates, and during evaporation, particles of the liquid absorb energy from the surface of the palm to compensate for the loss of energy, making the surrounding cool.
Okay, that is what happens. You will experience cooling on your palm, student. Your palm will become cooling will be produced on the palm. So evaporation will take place. It will absorb heat from the palm. That is the correct answer, student. So the acetone evaporates. Evaporation of acetone takes place and you will experience cooling, student, on the palm. Correct answer given by Vidhi. You are getting one full mark for that. So next question on the screen. Name the SI unit of measuring temperature. The boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade under normal atmospheric pressure. Convert this into SI unit, students. What is your answer?
So the SI unit of temperature is Kelvin,
Yes.
and the boiling point of water is 100 Celsius. So when we converted it to Kelvin, it will be 373 Kelvin.
Kelvin. Okay, Kelvin is the correct answer. And when you will convert into SI unit, what will be the value? 100 plus 273. It is coming to be 373 Kelvin, students. That is the correct answer given by Vidhi. So all the answers are correct. You are getting 30 out of 30 marks. Students, 100% result. That means the chapter of matter and surrounding has been understood, revised, and most important questions have been solved by you, students. Therefore, we will congratulate the students. Congratulations to you, Vidhi, for scoring full 100 out of 100 marks in the revision lecture of the matter and surrounding, students. So I thank you for interacting and participating in the question answer sessions quiz. The quizzes will continue from all the chapters along with the revision so that we can score 100 out of 100 marks in our different competition papers as well as in our board papers, in Cbse, in school exams. Okay, wish you all the best. We will meet you in our next class. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.